The murder happened in broad daylight. Dozens of people walked past the building that afternoon. Delivery drivers came and went. Neighbors watered their gardens. Children rode bicycles just 2 streets away. No one heard a scream. No one reported a struggle. The police had no witnesses, no murder weapon, and no obvious suspect. For nearly 2 years, detectives believed the killer had committed the perfect crime. Then an officer noticed something everyone else had dismissed: a cheap security camera mounted above a broken side entrance. The camera hadn't recorded the murder. It had recorded something far more disturbing. It had captured the one person who should never have been there. And that single recording would unravel a carefully planned deception that fooled an entire community. Maple Street was the kind of neighborhood where everyone knew everyone else. Located just outside Columbus, Ohio, it was lined with tidy brick homes, family-owned businesses, and tree-covered sidewalks. Crime was rare. Most calls to police involved stolen bicycles, noisy parties, or the occasional car break-in. That changed on a quiet Thursday in October. At exactly 6:42 p.m., a customer entered Bennett Hardware to buy paint. The lights were still on. The front door was unlocked. But no one answered. The customer walked farther inside before discovering 58-year-old Richard Bennett, the store owner, lying motionless behind the service counter. Police arrived within minutes. There were no signs of forced entry. Nothing appeared stolen. Richard's wallet remained in his pocket. The cash register still contained nearly $1,000. Investigators immediately ruled out robbery. Whoever killed Richard had come for only one reason: Richard himself. Richard Bennett had owned the hardware store for almost 30 years. He was known for repairing neighbors' lawnmowers without charging labor, extending credit to struggling families, and remembering nearly every customer's name. His wife had died 5 years earlier. Since then, the store had become his second home. Detectives interviewed more than 100 people. Everyone described the same man: kind, patient, honest, no gambling debts, no criminal record, no known disputes. It was almost impossible to imagine someone wanting him dead. Without a motive, the investigation stalled. The hardware store's own security system had failed weeks earlier after a lightning storm. Detectives assumed there was no surveillance. But Officer Daniel Brooks noticed a small camera attached to the neighboring building. The camera belonged to an empty warehouse. Its owner explained the system barely worked. The footage was grainy. The clock was wrong. Most investigators doubted it would reveal anything useful. Still, Brooks collected the memory card. Hours later, technicians began reviewing more than 70 hours of footage. Nothing. Delivery trucks, pedestrians, dogs, rain, leaves blowing across the parking lot. Then, At 3:17 p.m., someone appeared, not entering the hardware store, leaving it. The figure wore a gray hoodie, baseball cap, gloves, and sunglasses. The face couldn't be identified. But one detail stood out. The person walked with a slight limp. Detectives searched Richard's family, employees, customers, and acquaintances. Nobody matched. The case went cold. Months became a year, then another. The video remained stored inside the evidence archive until Detective Sarah Lawson reopened the file. She slowed the recording frame by frame. Something caught her attention. The mysterious figure paused for exactly 3 seconds beneath the camera. Not to hide, to look up. Almost as though they knew the camera existed. Sarah requested every delivery records from businesses surrounding Maple Street. One company repeatedly appeared: Midwest Supply Logistics. Their driver assigned to Maple Street during that period was 36-year-old Ethan Cole, former Army mechanic. Quiet, reliable, never disciplined. When investigators watched archived dashcam footage from one of Ethan's delivery trucks, they noticed something unexpected. He walked with the exact same limp. But Ethan had an alibi. GPS records showed he was making deliveries several miles away during the estimated time of the murder. The investigation hit another wall. Sarah wasn't convinced. She requested maintenance logs for the delivery company's vehicles. One truck had experienced repeated GPS failures that same week. The device occasionally froze for up to 45 minutes before reconnecting. Investigators subpoenaed Ethan's cell phone records. His phone remained near the delivery route. But surveillance later revealed Ethan often left his phone inside the truck while making deliveries. If someone wanted to create a false location history, leaving the phone behind would do exactly that. Financial investigators uncovered something Richard Bennett had never mentioned. 2 years earlier, Richard had quietly invested in a small business owned by Ethan's older brother. The business failed. Richard absorbed the financial loss without public complaint. But Ethan's brother blamed him anyway, believing Richard had refused additional funding that could have saved the company. The resentment simmered. Family members described arguments. Friends remembered bitter comments. No one imagined it could end in murder. Investigators returned to the warehouse footage. Artificial intelligence enhancement sharpened dozens of frames. The face remained hidden. But another clue emerged. A custom orthopedic insert briefly became visible inside the suspect's right shoe. Medical records confirmed Ethan had received the same specialized insert after a workplace injury. Detectives obtained a warrant. A search of Ethan's garage uncovered the gray hoodie, gloves, and a pair of shoes with worn soles matching impressions found inside the hardware store. Still, there was no murder weapon. And Ethan denied everything. During questioning, Ethan remained calm. He answered every question carefully. Hours passed. Then Detective Lawson placed the enhanced security footage on the table. She didn't accuse him. She simply asked, "Why did you look up at the camera?" For the first time, Ethan hesitated. He looked at the screen, then quietly said, "I thought it wasn't recording." The room fell silent. No one had told him the camera had actually captured him. He had assumed it hadn't. By revealing what he believed about the camera, he unintentionally placed himself at the scene. Realizing his mistake, Ethan stopped talking. But it was too late. Further forensic testing recovered microscopic paint particles from Ethan's clothing that matched materials behind Richard's service counter. Combined with the surveillance footage, financial motive, shoe evidence, and his incriminating statement, prosecutors built a compelling case. A jury found Ethan Cole guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. Richard Bennett's hardware store never reopened. Months later, local residents transformed the building into a community workshop where young people learned woodworking, home repair, and craftsmanship, skills Richard had spent decades teaching others. Near the entrance hangs a small plaque. It doesn't mention the killer. Instead, it reads, "In memory of Richard Bennett, a man who fixed more than broken tools. He helped build a stronger community." As for the grainy warehouse camera, detectives later admitted they nearly ignored it because it seemed too poor in quality to matter. It never captured the murder itself. It captured something more valuable, the killer's single moment of confidence. And sometimes that's all justice needs.